Hey guys, so I thought I'd share my simple burnishing process with you today. And if you don't already know, burnishing is basically the process of sealing your leather edge. And the reason you want to do this is because if you don't, water can get in there and cause damage. And also, as you can kind of see here, just raw edges are more fibrous, which makes them more prone to catching on things and just kind of tearing and flaring out a little bit. And essentially what we're going to do is apply friction and some type of liquid or compound to smooth down those fibers. And you can use water, you can use beeswax. That's a nice cheap option if you have access to it or know somebody that is into beekeeping. And there's also different compounds like toconol, that's my favorite, or gum tragonanth or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but I've just found that toconol is really easy to use, it's easy to clean up, and I like the result. So that's what I've used for a little while. And to start, the first step is just gonna be to bevel the edge. And the reason we do that is because oftentimes it looks nicer, it feels good to get that sharp edge off. And it's also gonna prevent the leather from kind of mushrooming, kind of expanding as you apply pressure to burnish it. So we're just gonna start there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this edge off. Probably need to sharpen my beveler here. I think this is a Tandy beveler. I'll link it down in the description. And it kind of depends on your piece whether or not you do both sides of the leather. I normally do for, say, wallet pockets, because I think it's easier to slide a card into a pocket if the edge is kind of rounded over rather than sharp. So there's our rounded edge, and I'm just going to burnish one side of this so you can see the difference. So you can use a wooden slicker, they call them like this. These are really cheap. You can get them on Amazon, Buckle Guide, different sites. Another thing you can do if you have a Dremel is order a burnishing attachment. So this is nice. It speeds up the process a lot, as you can tell. So that'll save you a lot of time if you have one of those. But otherwise, this works just fine. So I just apply a bit with my finger. I think it's safe to do that. Honestly, I haven't looked into that, but it's been fine so far. And I try not to get too much on there, but basically we're just gonna apply it until it kind of soaks in. Always keep a paper towel or something like that on hand for this part. And you're gonna take your tool, use kind of the groove that just fits the leather perfectly there. And you're just gonna rub back and forth until you start to see a bit of shine. And I'll normally stop right before I can tell the leather's sort of starting to dry out. You don't wanna go until it's dry because that's probably gonna cause the fibers to kind of tear up, and you don't want that. And then I'll normally go ahead and apply another coat, and you'll notice now that you've already sealed the leather a little bit with that first pass that it's not going to soak up nearly as much burnishing gum because the fibers are already sealed. So you just keep going. Some people will spend crazy amount of time just getting shiny edges. I'm not, too worried about that myself. As long as it's sealed, it's going to do its job, and that's okay by me. As long as it's sealed and looks nice. So there is your burnished edge, and you can tell the difference pretty clearly there. This one's lighter, it's just more fibrous. You can tell it's kind of, you can tell those fibers are just loose, they're sticking out, but this looks nice and sealed, looks a little darker. That's it, that's my simple process. Let me know what yours is. Everybody seems to kind of do differently. I'm always looking for ways to improve, but this is what I do now. Let me know what you think and subscribe for more.